The story that I'm about to read you guys does not have a name, doesn't have a title, doesn't have anything really. So if you guys want, drop a name in the comments below to see if I like it, and if I like it enough, that will be the name of this story. But for now, this is gonna be a story with no name. I sit alone in my apartment, staring at the TV filled with white static but no sound, listening to the pitter-patter of the rain hitting the roof, counting every small sound that radiates from above me. I haven't seen what the rain is like, but if I had to put a vivid picture in your mind, I would say that it has a soft, gentle, welcoming feel. Something that makes you close your eyes and just listen. The kind of noise that lulls you into a deep sleep. The kind of noise that shouldn't make you feel comfortable, but it does. But along with this rain, of course, comes with the sky. Oh, the gray, cloudy sky. Rays of light poking through, almost as if it was a sign that any moment there was going to be a burst of soldiers with swords charging through. My apartment was not much to look at, just a simple one-room apartment with white walls, white ceilings, and white floors. Well, let's not forget this no-screened TV and my chair, my simple, comfortable chair. The sound of the rain eventually lulled me into a deep sleep that I tried to steer myself away from. Not much happened at first, but then I began to dream. I dreamt about all the things that I wanted but I could never have. The things that I didn't want but I could easily grab. I dreamt about the friends who did me wrong, my family who picked me up when I hit rock bottom. It was all normal, but suddenly something changed. I began to dream about darkness. It's not like I wasn't dreaming. I was. I know I was. I know this because I could look around and see where I was. It seemed almost as if I was in a pitch black room with no airflow, no sound, nothing. However, I did have a feeling I was being watched, so I quickly looked around, but there was still nothing to see. I wanted to wake up. I did not like being in this room within my dreams. I felt useless. I felt like I was nothing, just a speck in this dark, stale room. I tried to force myself awake, but I failed. I was trapped. I couldn't wake up. I couldn't be free. I struggled for what seemed like an eternity, but I'm sure it was only a few minutes in real time. It wasn't until I saw something out of the corner of my eye, almost like a fast-moving shadow. I know. Shadow in an already dark room. But I know there was something there. I know my eye saw something. The darker blackness moving mixed in with the lighter darkness gave proof that there was something there. But with a sudden realization, I woke up. No more shadows, no more dreams, no more darkness. I was free from my own dream. I was back in the little apartment with white walls, white ceilings, and white floors once again. I got up to get something to drink, cracked open a can of soda, and sat back down. I couldn't help but have this overwhelming feeling that I was still being watched. It sounds crazy, I know, but something was there. I could feel it. The next day had come, and because I had nothing to do, I sat in my chair again, drifting away once more to the sound of the snow-filled TV. I was in the same dark room that I was in before, but there was something different. There was a light on one side of the room. I thought about going to it or if I should stay where I was. Unfortunately, curiosity got the best of me and I got up to examine closer. As I got closer, I could feel a warm sensation rush over my body, but then it changed to a cold chill that crept up my spine. The exact moment I touched it, I woke up. This was no peaceful waking up, though. I shot out of the chair, sweat dripping down my face. Small, short gasps of air. I looked around to see if there was anything out of place because I still felt like I was being watched. And then I saw it. The shadow in the corner. It was there. I screamed at it, but no words came out. Was I still sleeping? Was I still in my dreams? I pinched myself and I felt the pain. So this is the real world, but why do I see the shadow? And then I realized I couldn't even move. What was going on? Why could I do anything? Then I saw the shadow was not where it was previously, but it was actually next to me. The moment my gaze fell onto the shadow, it jumped at me. It started to suffocate me. I couldn't breathe. My light was fading. I clawed my mouth to let the air in. But the shadow was overwhelming. It was stronger than me. Slowly, my mind became hazy. My throat started to burn. I kept trying to gasp for air, but the shadow was stronger than me. I slipped into the dark. Was I dead? No, I don't think so. I don't know from first-hand experience, but I do not think this is what death feels like. I think I passed out and was unconscious on my chair. My thoughts and I finally came to, and I was right where I remember. Sitting in my chair, the shadow was gone and everything was calm. I went to turn on the TV but couldn't find the remote, so I had to do it manually. The sound from the snow-filled TV began to fill my ears again, except I fought the overwhelming exhaustion and stayed awake. The shadow had returned, but it was outside my window. The shadow moved around the window pane almost as if it was examining the window, which was odd because it's been in here before. Within an instant, the shadow disappeared and was in the apartment with me. The shadow on the floor moved gracefully around. I stared at it in awe and couldn't force myself to move. I felt like I knew the shadow for a long time, but we had part ways quite some time ago. The shadow stopped at my feet, and then it went into my shadow and started to fill up. After it filled up, the shadow had stood up in the form of a human being, but no details, no face, just the silhouette. By this point, I was able to stand up out of my chair to meet the standing shadow. It was as tall as me. I stood there looking at it, our noses almost touching. I was so scared. I couldn't move. A bead of sweat rolled down my face. My palms were clammy. This was not a good spot to be in. I slowly moved my hand, thinking it would mimic me, but it still stood there, silent, motionless. I moved my chair out from behind me to put some space between the shadow and I, and thankfully, that didn't make it move either. Stepping back slowly, I did not break my sight on their shadow. There was this eerie, dark feeling coming from it, something very, very evil. And then it struck. I was pushed into the wall and it was pinned there. I couldn't fight back. My screams were silenced by some unknown reason. I made no sound. No one could hear my screams. Nobody knew what was happening to me. I was so scared. What did I do to deserve this? Why is this happening to me? You pushed me away and did not accept me for who I am. There was this distorted voice in my head, like it was just planted in my head. I could hear it so vividly. I said out loud, "What? You heard me. You pushed me away." But I don't know you. I don't know why or what you are. I need to defend myself. I screamed as loud as I possibly could, hoping my screams would pierce through the silence. Silence! The voice had said as the snow-filled TV was shattered into pieces. The lights all went off like a candle being blown out. I struggled, and then I fell onto the floor. I looked around, trying to get my eyes to adjust to the dark room. Moments went by and everything was calm. The shadow didn't seem to be in sight, which was good, because I still could not see very well. I dropped a sigh of relief because my eyes finally adjusted. And at the exact moment, the shadow came back. You must accept us. We are one. Why do you continue to push away from us? I don't know who you are. I don't know who us is, I said, shaken. They began to look around. I wanted to flee and hide. I was not a fighter. I couldn't actually fight. I was the kid who always picked last in sports. I was a good-for-nothing excuse of a human being. I couldn't do this. The shadow ended up coming after me, reaching out with its long, eerie fingers. It was going to choke me again. I could not let that happen. I ran away to the other side of the room, away from the shadow man. Stop running and accept this. Why are you here? Why do you hurt me so? I have so many questions to ask you. Well, The shadow laughed maniacally. I am you. I am everything that is inside of you. All of the hatred, the anger, the sadness. I am everything you are and more. Accept me, and we become one. I walked closer to the shadow. I was not sure if it was telling the truth. Was this voice in my yes? I am that voice. I am in your thoughts. I can see your mind. It was telling the truth. I couldn't believe it. I moved even closer to the shadow, a couple arms length away. I could not accept the shadow being. I did not want it. The shadow heard my thoughts and slowly stepped forward, transforming into an exact copy of me, from the hair to the eye color, to the very details of my freckles on my arms. If that is what you want, then I shall return until you learn to fight this battle with yourself. I will haunt you till the end of time. Until we meet again. And with that, the shadow vanished.